Hello, my friends, my family, and fans. How y'all doing? I hope you all are well. My name is Andrew Ditch. I am diagnosed with autism and intellectual disability. Today, I want to go into navigating the healthcare system and getting disability services and housing. The missing information, how I navigate healthcare claims post-autism. Demystifying the missing information in healthcare claims post-autism diagnosis will illustrate the labyrinthine process of securing necessary support. We'll expose the specific challenges encountered when seeking coverage, offering actionable insights for navigating dense paperwork and advocating for appropriate care. Problem/solution. Are you drowning in healthcare paperwork trying to get support after an autism diagnosis? I know that frustrating feeling of hitting dead ends and being told crucial information is missing. This video exposes the exact challenges I faced navigating healthcare claims and, more importantly, shares my actionable strategies to finally secure the care you deserve. Unmasking the missing information. Decoding the EOB. Explaining what an explanation of benefits, EOB, really is and how often it feels like a foreign language when dealing with autism-related services. I love to share my personal experiences in navigating the system. Many people tell me that the system is broken and not something that is made for disabled people. I have another look to not get the care I need in NYS. The system is not broken. It is some of the doctors in the system that also accepts kickbacks from others as a conflict of interest. Take a doctor. Dr. Michael Cummings, who sits on the board of directors for Erie County Medical Center as the chief doctor for the behavioral health system. Erie County Medical Center, ECMC for short, is also in charge of the behavioral health and medical care that jailed inmates receive at Erie County Holding Center. Erie County funds these two agencies. Dr. Michael Cummings also sits as a board director of the New York State Office of People with Developmental Disabilities and sits on the medical board for eligibility in Region 1. When ECMC and ECHC had both diagnosed me with autism and intellectual disability, two qualifying diagnoses for OPWDD waiver services and requiring 24-hour care. The diagnosis was refused by Adult Protective Services Erie County Department of Social Services. When I recorded a conversation with my Adult Protective Services worker and directors, I was told that ECMC and ECHC both said, "I do not have autism." I got my record from ECMC and ECHC and shared it on the internet with both diagnoses. This quickly got them to refuse to help me. Plus, the county claims I have a diaper fetish and get off on needing to be whipped and showered. I hope you see this is illegal, and the agency who is in charge of protecting adults from neglect and abuse has no oversight to investigate such claims against themselves is covered up by the county chairman, Dr. Michael Cummings. Dr. Michael Cummings had once made the diagnosis that is refused by these professionals. This is why I had sepsis and severe health problems due to this. I was not eligible for any other medical services due to no qualifying diagnosis they can serve when OPWDD is the responsibility of my care. What did I need to do? I need another assessment. Why do I need another assessment that costs thousands of dollars? Because OPWDD made red tape to deny me help. If I get another assessment, I have another chance to appeal. However, finding a doctor to do another assessment and getting insurance to pay for it when it is clear I have the diagnosis and is eligible for OPWDD services. My guardian made a decision that he can get in serious legal trouble for. Put me on a bus to be homeless. This left me in a different state, lost and confused. More health and injuries. However, I got to be eligible for the waiver. The issue was APS in this state talked to APS in NYS that was informed on misleading information. APS and NYS are not qualified to diagnose as diaper fetish, or if diapers and help with communication are needed or not. They did that anyways. The Pennsylvania APS are in control of making a fair report and investigation, however they did not. They placed me into the CHC waiver that could not provide me care. I did not qualify for care with CHC waiver, but used my Medicare as a reason to put me in that waiver. Then I challenged them by submitting medical records from birth with the same incontinence and language and behavior and self-care limitations. They reviewed these reports to find out I was right and they was wrong. I challenged, why am I getting CHC waiver when I also have ODP waiver, and that cannot be done? I explained that I needed more help than is being offered. That got me put in the ODP waiver. The family person supports waiver, even though my assessment from ODP and ECCM showed I needed 24-hour care and was originally enrolled in the consolidated waiver. The county said they are able to and willing to have me in the consolidated waiver that is more appropriate for my needs and level of care. However, it's up to ECCM, who is not part of the county or waiver program, to apply for this. My doctor ordered this. ECCM was told by every agency based on my ISP and needs I require more supports than can be provided in the Person Family Support Service waiver. This led to me being denied in home and community services. However, ECCM blames me. However, with multiple agencies willing to provide me care if I got the consolidated waiver due to the needs I have. No agency wants to accept the care if someone cannot take care of themselves and being safe alone. No agency wants to be liable for death, injury, or being harmed by others due to unable to care for self or be able to protect themselves. These agencies recognized my disability and medical records and the need for 24-hour care. Then ECCM used the HHS, who is arguing that this waiver puts me at risk of homelessness due to not enough support and being institutionalized with my health and safety needs. I have an answer to that. If it's a housing issue and need for safe and clean housing with accommodations for accessibility, make a complaint to HUD. If an agency like ECCM is misusing funds assigned by HUD when other programs I qualify for and can provide me with safe and clean and supportive housing, I make a complaint for fraud. If I have open case with Office of Developmental Programs responsible for ensuring the care and services and supports are provided for my needs, ask ODP questions for why they are not providing me the care and how to access this care. If they tell me I need to apply for the waiver for the care I'm asking for is what I need to do, then redirects me to ECCM, for who is to apply for me. Then I go to ECCM, who is to apply for me refuses to help me. I can make a complaint to ODP. If the county assistance caseworker is the reason for why I am in the CHC waiver with ODP waiver that should make me ineligible for CHC waiver is the reason, I call the Attorney General and Inspector General. When my ECCM worker is refusing to accommodate my communication needs by refusing to allow me to use my communication device, then I can make a complaint to HHS. If my ECCM worker is thinking I am portraying to be more dependent on others and I have these serious medial needs as a result of not having the care I need, I make a civil rights complaint. She is discriminating against me for refusing to recognize and accept medical needs and accommodations for health and safety. ECCM used their own program funded by HUD. I am making a fraud report to HUD to investigate why ECCM is misusing funds for those who are homeless for 365 days and has a mental illness, drug addictions, physical disability, and has been homeless due to one of the conditions or is at risk of being homeless. I do not have a drug addiction. I do not have a mental illness. I do not have a physical disability. I have multiple medical conditions that I cannot manage due to my autism and intellectual disability. Yet they did this due to one reason, because they wanted to get out of being in trouble with HHS for this mess. Not on my watch. I'm not going to do something that is fraudulent. I'm not going to lie or fake any diagnosis to get help I need. I'm not going to allow my government to allow fraud for cover-ups because they refuse to accept my actual diagnosis. The prior authorization trap, illustrating scenarios where critical therapies were delayed or denied due to opaque prior authorization requirements and missing codes. My doctors has ordered care that is not being provided. The reason is I already said no agency is going to be liable for negligence when I need 24-hour care. County is willing to provide this. My supports coordinator refuses to provide me that help. My doctor ordered a GPS device that I can't take off that has geofence and real-time tracking for my caregivers to get alert when I wander away from safety. My caseworker is refusing to accept this medical prescription, like the Cubby safety bed, just like they refuse to accept the prescription for my diapers. If not for an agency that does their own case management and support for navigating the complicated healthcare system, and worked with my speech therapist and doctors to get my speech-generated device funded. My coordinators had no say to deny me this. For GPS, cubby bed, diapers, and caregivers, this couldn't be provided to me as these services go through my coordinators. Navigating policy nuances, breaking down common insurance jargon, e.g., medical necessity, experimental treatment, and how these terms are weaponized against autism care. The system is not broken. The system works. But professionals inside the system ignore loopholes from some agencies funded to provide care and coordination of care, to refuse to help at will of the agency. That becomes a problem for someone like me who is care dependent. My battle plan, tools and tactics. The power of the paper trail, demonstrating my meticulously organized system for tracking every call, document, and interaction with insurance companies. I use my medical records and ask my doctors for help. They help me with the documents and referrals for me to get medical records and documentation needed to get the care I am in need of. Then I have access to the internet to find out ECCM fraud and or the care not being provided and who is responsible for not helping me. Then find out what qualifies for that service or program. Then I provide documentation for the care and services needs. Scripting your success. Sharing exact phrases and questions I use when talking to customer service reps to get the information I need, even when they don't want to give it. I ask questions: how many care hours will I get? How long will I be left alone? And what other options? Then I ask questions: if I cannot feel when I'm thirsty and been dehydrated, how can I be able to be left alone? If I cannot feel or tell when I am hungry and or full, how can I be left alone? If I cannot feel when I need to pee and or poop and cannot feel when my diaper is needing to be changed, how can I be left alone? If I cannot wipe myself or take a shower, how can I be left alone? If I cannot respond to alarms and cannot answer phone calls, how can I be able to remember to take my medications? If I have diaper rashes and toe fungus due to not being able to properly take a shower, how can I be left alone? If I have no danger awareness, how can I be left alone? If I have no stranger danger, how can I be left alone? If I cannot cope with loud noises and unexpected events, and I hit myself, bite myself, scream, fall to the floor, and cannot think, how can I be left alone if a fire or power outage? If I cannot feel cold and or hot, how can I be left alone in cold and or hot weather that can result in death due to problems regulating body temperature? Do you see my point here? If I have severe high blood pressure due to not able to take my medications myself, how can I be left alone? Leveraging appeals, detailing how I've successfully navigated the appeals process, including what evidence is most compelling and when to escalate. I ask for help with applying for the waiver and care. If I get denied, I use my medical records that I am very good and capable of navigating to use to appeal for the care and services needed. I know to use Attorney General and Health and Human Services and ADA and Centers for Medicaid and Medicare and Social Security, who oversees the rights to disabled individuals. Beyond the paperwork, advocacy and community. Finding your allies. Discussing the importance of connecting with autism advocacy groups and legal aid services that specialize in healthcare claims. I am working with one disability advocate. Although not directly autism related, I do have access to agencies that can help me. However, one of the agencies require ECCM to make the referral to an autism and intellectual disability advocate. Doctor, as your champion. How to effectively partner with your healthcare providers to ensure they are properly documenting and coding your services for optimal coverage. I use my doctor to help me with evaluating my needs and care plans and my diagnosis. It is with this that I use to help me in getting the appropriate care and services I need. The collective voice, highlighting the need for broader systemic change and how individual challenges contribute to a larger push for more equitable healthcare access. My goal for this channel is to see the issues I have in navigating the system. Once I am sound and services are secured for me, I plan on learning how to speak up to when I'm being neglected, abandoned, and exploited, and how to spot the signs of this. Then I set a goal to make changes to the loopholes by private corporations who can choose to not have to do a certain task for a disabled person. Then how to protect others with disabilities so others don't get ignored and denied medical care, medications, and durable medical equipment for managing disability and medical-related needs. I'm still learning how to ask for accommodations for my disability-related needs, and this is what I am using to fight for help and care I need. I know now that no agency or employee with an agency can refuse to accommodate a disabled person. Securing your support, a call to action. Don't go it alone. Reaffirming that this journey is challenging, but support is available. Outlining where viewers can find credible resources. Never do things alone without your doctor, power attorney, guardian, supports from others, and if needed, a lawyer. Your rights as a patient. A quick reminder of key patient rights regarding healthcare claims and access to information relevant for 2026. I strongly recommend people to learn about the services who can help treat your conditions and what services are available. What services can assist you when you need more supports. Learn about the rights and responsibilities of all the professionals in your care and how to make complaints. Understand the chain of command with complaints and who is the responsibility of overseeing the professional who is responsible for providing you the care you need. Do not be afraid to say no and to ask for help reading and understanding what you are signing to. Never sign documents without a lawyer, friend, family member, power of attorney to be with you. If you're interested in disability-related topics, such as treatment, support, accommodations, and rights, like and subscribe for more inclusive content. My next video, I plan on going into details about where people with autism and intellectual disabled adults live and housing resources in different state systems. I will talk to you later.